premiered the work at Cannes last year, Women Not Objects, and it got an enormous response. And basically it's about not objectifying women as props, as parts, as plastic, so overly retouched, unachievable, women, perfect skin, perfect hair, whatever. Props is when you aren't the focus of the narrative. You're an object, you're not the subject. You have no agency, you have no say. And parts is just showing provocative women's body parts in order to sell things. And so as an agency, we decided that we would never objectify another woman again, or man. And we brought it to Cannes and did a main stage talk because really we wanted everyone to really reconsider, because the fourth filter is empathy. And really using your heart and your mind to say, what if this was my sister? What if the way that woman is portrayed, what if that was my mother? What if it was me? What if it was my daughter? And I think all of us can agree that we don't want to be portrayed as less than equal. And so in advertising, we shouldn't be portrayed as less than equal. One of the biggest challenges that we faced as an agency is that all of the clients that we typically appeal to, fashion and beauty, I mean, they're starting to come back now, but for 2 years we didn't have any real fashion or beauty clients. And, we're starting to work with bigger clients like MetLife, but overall, it was so well received. It was almost as if everyone was primed for a way to talk about equality. Carl's Jr., which is a big U.S. company, they were one of the worst offenders of objectifying women. And the CEO of that company actually came out and said, I can't think of anything more American than a woman dressed in a bikini eating a hamburger. I mean, like the absolute sort of poster child of objectification. And their agency, 72 and Sunny, got them to completely change their campaign. And I think it made a huge difference. And they were very public about it in the way that they handled the creative, where basically, the father of Carl's Jr. Came in the campaign and said, okay, I let Junior run this long enough, and he's done enough horrible things to women, so we're going to stop. So that was great. And then, and there are other great examples, that are happening. I think Calvin Klein's campaign changed substantially from the time that we started it to now. The Cannes Lions brought on the definition of objectification and put in the jury packet for the jurors to think about, does this ad objectify anyone? Does this ad, is it a gender biased ad in any way? Does it stereotype anybody in any way? And so it's really opened up the conversation. And I know from hearing, little bits and pieces, that it's making a difference in the jury rooms. They're talking about it. And so, this is the beginning, when the most powerful, the most amazing minds in advertising start having this conversation. That's when everything changes. So they asked me to be the ambassador for See It, Be It last year. And I mean, from the beginning, it's been amazing, just talking and meeting all these just so smart young women. And we, you know, it's very difficult for us to get it down to 15 because the applicant pool was excellent. And so, but just getting to know them, hearing their stories. What I find so incredible is that there are women from Brazil, from Nigeria, from Japan, from Pakistan, from India, from America, Canada, all over the world. And their stories are the same of how do I, you know, get my creative director, or how do I get my staff, or how do I get people to understand that, you know, really having a woman's voice is something that we have to have as an agency to be successful. And, you know, I don't want to just work on the nail polish account. I don't want to just work on the lotion account. Like, I want to work on the cars. You know, I want to work on the more male-dominated accounts. And so it's incredible. Like, everyone globally, we're all having this conversation. And, you know, our goal is to help to give them tools to take home with them to have those conversations with people within their agencies about why it's important, about how we can change, about what they want. So, very interesting. In the big, with the big agencies, we're at essentially about 11% of creative directors are women, and so, you know, yes, we have a far way to go. But I think, you know, this is the beginning of that. This is the beginning. I don't think that men are the problem, and I don't think women are the problem. I think that it's an awareness problem. I think that it's something that we all need to be working on together. And, you know, the reality of it is that, you know, we start out at agencies, for the most part, pretty 50-50. And that goes for most, you know, corporations. But there's a drop-off when women start to have children. And they can't seem to get back up. And men start to take off at about that age when women are starting to have kids. And so we need to figure that out. You know, I don't know what the answer is, but we need to figure out how we're going to help families in a way where there's more equality for everybody. And those are all such personal decisions that men and women make. But I think that that's the beginning of how to talk about it and make real change happen. Women Not Objects, you know, this is still going on. Cannes was a big, you know, getting them to put this in the jury packet. I never dreamt in a million years it would happen in a year, you know. But it did, and so that's great. And so I think our next steps are to really figure out how to make this more consumer-facing so that consumers are making decisions about buying products based on the type of advertising that they see. And I think by, you know, once we start using our purchasing power, once we start making decisions about what it is that we're buying based on how women are portrayed, I think that's when we're going to see a real difference. And so that, for me, is the next step for Women Not Objects, is make it more consumer, make consumers more aware.